In the city of San Jose, the street trees that were originally planted and owned and maintained by the city have been given over to the homeowners. The homeowners now are responsible to take care of the trees, and the homeowners make the decisions on these trees. Unfortunately, some homeowners don't really care, or they look for the cheap bid, or somebody knocks on their door, and that's what happened here. This is really sad because you look down the street, there's a lot of nice sycamore trees down here. These are the London Plains. And I look at this mess and I think, my God, it'll survive, but oh man. You know, why this is happening really bothers me. And then I came over here and I took a closer look at it, and sure enough, some guy just spurred his way up the tree, wailed on it, charged him whatever, and now the city-owned tree is a homeowner butchered tree. I think this is wrong. I think the city should reinstate its responsibility for all the trees that it has planted and respect the integrity of the trees. You know, this sort of thing shouldn't be happening, but it's happening every single day. And unfortunately, it's really easy to find lots of examples of this kind of abuse. I was driving down the road, not too far from the last trees. Here it is again. These happen to be liquid ambers. All right, I was driving down the same street here and I came across, this is one of the original sycamores, and look at the way that it grows. And I can see up there, I can read the tree, that this tree was chopped severely all the way across here, and all the new resulting resprouts from decades ago has created kind of an abomination in terms of structure. Now compare that to the adjacent trees that are the same age and the way their structures grow, but these trees have not been destroyed from past pruning. Okay, so why is this wrong? Let me see if I can do a quick drawing here to show you. First off, let's draw the tree. We'll draw the structure of the tree, the branching that comes up, and then it starts branching off into different directions. And each of these branches off into other directions. And this is kind of a crude drawing, but you get the idea. And each of these sprouts out, and that's what develops the basic form of the tree. As the tree gets bigger and bigger, everything grows off of here, and you get your tree getting taller and taller. And all of a sudden, somebody comes along and prunes the tree, and they decide they want the tree to be small. So they cut it back hard, and that's what you've got. You've got this tree that's butchered. It's cut here and here and here and here and here. Now, some people refer to that as pollarding, but we'll get into that. That's a whole nother issue. So what happens? In a grander scale, this is what happened in the previous picture, or the video of the sycamore that I was just showing you. But now you get masses of suckers coming off of the edges. It doesn't come off of the end and continue to grow, but you get all these masses of suckers that come out. So this is the first year. All right, so why is this bad? Well, if you continually trim it back to this point every single year and contain the tree, that becomes a very high maintenance tree. However, if you do it once and forget it, which is often the case, each of these individual branches gets bigger and bigger and bigger, but the area of where the tree was cut off will oftentimes start to decay. So you end up with a weakness at each of these cut spots. But these new limbs get bigger and bigger, and in time, say sometimes decades, they'll reach a point where they get so much bigger you'll have much more weight on each of these attachment points than the tree would normally grow. Because in a normal situation, the branch will balance itself out and then the whole thing will get bigger. But once you start this process, you have permanently destroyed the tree's ability to attain a natural, proper shape. Hope that explains it. I was called out to look at a sycamore, Platanus acerfolia, that is leaning, and the client is afraid that the tree will fall on his neighbor's house. Now, my first observation is, yes, the tree is leaning. It's not a real old tree. However, the neighboring tree seems to be crowding it out, so my first thoughts were, well, this tree is growing to reach its own space and its own light, and because it's so crowded, that's a natural occurrence, and it's probably pretty strong in here. And I got to talking to him, and I realized that there's some new cement over here, or relatively new. And I asked him, I said, what, did they take out a tree here and replace the cement and replace this tree? He says, no. They came in and they ground out all the roots and they put in a root barrier over here for this tree. So that kind of changes my opinion of the whole situation. So not sure how long ago this happened, but root severing and root grinding for sidewalk replacements is often very damaging, and you never know what's going on underground. The roots may be decaying. At the very least, there's a structural weakness over on this side for holding the tree, and the tree is leaning. It would hit the house, but probably not cause too much damage. However, if this tree continues to grow and grow and grow, it's going to just grow up and get much, much larger. And there is a strong possibility that this weakness down here may ultimately be the straw that breaks this camel's back. I don't really know, but you have to be really careful when you talk to people about how safe a tree is or how safe you believe it to be is. This one's a tough one to think about. Because it's not a huge tree, it's not a problem right now. But it's a species that gets huge, and it has no place to grow but over that side, over the neighbor's house. And across the street from the same tree is a situation of a tree that was planted in 1938. I know that because the neighbor told me. And this is a Modesto ash. It's dormant at this time of the year. And it had a weakness. A branch was removed here and probably something torn off here, because that doesn't look like a cut. And I see cement inside this main crotch. What's going on underneath these pieces of cement? What's going on in that main crotch? Is the decay inside here connected to this? Is this creating a weakness? I do know that this is a species of tree that is known for failures. It's a very brittle tree. It's a very, very old tree. I looked at both sides. The other side doesn't look as bad as this tight crotch right here. This is a judgment call. My recommendation would be get this cement out of here without damaging the tree. Get this cement out of here, and if possible, get that cement out of there. What that'll do is that will give you an opportunity to inspect these weaknesses, and then you can make a wise, more educated decision. Possibly some cables, but if it's really bad down here, cables are not a good idea either, because that's it's like putting a bandage on a real serious wound.